I feel cheated. I really do. I feel cheated by this chapter. And before all the comments start, like, oh, wait, Tekking101, didn't you read the chapter? I mean, Nell came back. That was awesome. We haven't seen her in like 3 years. She's back. Holibel's back. The Quincy Arrancar hybrid, whatever. They're taking over Huecamundo too. The dimensions are falling apart. Yuki has a ringtone. That was important to read. But after all that, you know, but Chojirou died. You know, that's what I'm kind of peeved about. And I'm not peeved about it because, just because, I'm not peeved about it because he died like the way he died. You know, like he got stabbed and he dies because, you know, characters you know, because people die. I mean, people live through so much more serious injuries in Bleach than just getting like stabbed in the chest. But I'm not mad about that. I'm mad because Chojirou was always like this background character that no one ever cared about. He was basically Kubo's punching bag. What I meant in the last chapter. Every time he needed like a filler character, he would throw Chojirou in, and no one really cared about him. And that was a lot of people's opinion of the guy. But then I thought, you know, Kubo's gonna do something with him. He might not do anything right now, but there's gonna be a point in the story where he's thrust into battle, and he really has to show, he has to shine. We're gonna find out about his backstory, because you know he's the lieutenant of the 1st Division. You'd think he would have some kind of interesting backstory, why he joined the 1st Division, why did Yamamoto make him his lieutenant, you know, stuff like that. And we're gonna find out his Shikai power, and no, he just dies. He just dies. So kind of peeved about that, but we'll get to that in review. Just go, show the intro. I don't even care anymore. Hey everybody, this is Tekking101 here to review Bleach Chapter 485 entitled Foundation Stones. So we start off where we did last chapter with the mysterious Quincy trying not to pass out from the massive blood loss, you know, after getting his arm ripped off for the most stupidest of reasons, by Zangetsu's brother. Yeah, I got a bunch of comments about that, like, oh, the king is Zangetsu's brother! Yeah, I don't think Kubo's gonna go that route, but aside from the fact it doesn't make any sense, really. But, hey, if you could give me a logical explanation why, like, one that actually makes sense why you think that's Zangetsu's brother, or, like, some relation to Zangetsu, go right ahead, but I'm just not seeing it. I think that's, I understand Kubo's drawing style is very similar, but I don't think this guy has any relation to Zangetsu whatsoever. But anyway, so the Quincy King is still sitting there, he's like, oh, it's okay, you don't have to exert yourself, you can give your report to me lying down, and just when you think he's a semi-normal human being, well, Quincy, I guess, he states, yeah, so you could announce to me lying down, but in that case, I'm gonna have to remove your legs, and this guy's psychotic. Really, he's psychotic. He's just like hacking the limbs off of his henchmen for pretty much doing exactly what they told him to do. Like, he's like, I want you to go to Yamamoto's office and tell him we're declaring war. So he does that, comes back, and his reward is losing his freaking arm. And he's like, please announce this report to me. He's like, oh, okay, but you don't need your legs to do that. So this guy has like some kind of deep psychological issue or something. Like, was his daddy mean to him when he was a little kid or something? Because that's just insane how he treats these people. And we get an explanation later, but the explanation is also confusing, and I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. But so then we cut back over to Ichigo's house, where Yuki's sitting there announcing that Ichigo has been late for quite some time, and that really no one is caring about him, and Uryu just announces, oh, it's okay, he could have taken care of that guy, no problem. I just love that. It's just like, he's like, this mysterious guy shows up, we have no idea who he is, no idea what his affiliation is, he's clearly not a hollow, he might be in a wrong car, but if he isn't a wrong car, why is he there? They don't really seem concerned about this. They don't really seem like, hey, why is that a wrong car here, you know, did he open a Garganta, maybe there's a mass invasion or something? No, we're just going to go about eating the bread. Okay, that's fine. And then we get a little aside with Orihime stating to Uryu, it's so nice because they become friends. And the only reason that she's saying that is because this arc is focused around the Quincy's, so she's highlighting now that, oh, it's so great that you're getting along with Kurosaki so well, when we know that the main enemy is the Quincy's, and that relationship between Uryu and Ichigo is most likely going to be strained later on, because throughout this whole thing on the spoilers and the forums anyway, a lot of people are questioning, well, is Uryu going to change sides in this arc? Because these are his own people, apparently. I mean, apparently. Once again, we get an explanation, but it's confusing. But, so people are wondering, is Uryu going to switch sides, or is he going to stay with Ichigo? Is he going to, like, maybe he's going to be like a double agent, like pretend to go to the Quincy's, but still be in alliance with Ichigo? We don't know yet. But that's basically why Orihime said that line right there, because otherwise it's fairly obvious. So Ichigo returns, of course, uninjured. He's not really uninjured because he cracked his Bankai. He doesn't really mention that. He's like, yeah, that guy, we fought for a little bit. Oh, by the way, Uryu, he's a Quincy, so they're still alive. That's kind of an issue. Then he used this weird spell to kind of break my Bankai, and then he disappeared into his Veil of Shadows. But no, nothing big deal. No big deal, really. He's just a normal guy. Maybe off-screen he said something, but from what this panel's showing, he just showed up and just like, yeah, I'm cool. Whatever. But anyway, so Yuki's phone starts ringing, his soul pager or whatever, and then we get like like 3 paragraphs explaining exactly he's using, I guess, Shino's voice as the ringtone. He recorded her singing, so I guess that alludes to the fact that Yuki has a crush on her, which kind of throws out my whole they might be sister and brother kind of debuncle, but I don't really care. I made up my mind already that every time this character talks, it doesn't have anything to do with the main plot. It has nothing to do with the main plot. It's just his own little awkward life, and I don't really care. So, moving on. The call was about Chojirou Sasakibe dying, which... Really? But, yeah, so he's dead. They're going to have a funeral service for him. But the one thing I was interested about this, though, aside from the fact that I'm kind of pissed he's dead, but this would actually be kind of interesting to see how does Shinigami die? I mean, I know they explained it already that they die, they were reincarnated as a soul on Earth, but I'm kind of interested in that process. Like, does their soul form still stick around? Because from what Kai and Shiba said a couple hundred chapters ago with that chapter with Rukia, he says after they die, they just disappear. They're like their matter becomes the Soul Society, and then they're reincarnated on Earth as another human being. But how would a funeral even work there? I'm not really sure. Like, would they have the body? Would the body just disappear? Do they keep them in an urn? What's up with that? But anyway, so they restate what we basically know from the last few chapters, that a bunch of people broke into Yamamoto's office, declared war, and then skipped out basically. And after killing Chojirou, Uryu asks Ichigo, like, why are they telling all this information to Yuki, who's just a minor soldier? And Ichigo's like, oh yeah, well they're probably, I don't know if it's Ichigo, but someone's probably like, he's like, well they know that I'm here. They know that Ichigo is there. They're relaying that information to Ichigo rather than for Yuki himself. I guess they're basically saying, Ichigo, yeah, go take care of the Quincy's, because as we all know, Ichigo is great at taking down an entire, any enemy that the Soul Society has that they cannot get rid of. They just basically send Ichigo on its little merry way, and he can take care of it. So maybe they finally caught on. Maybe they're like, yeah, Ichigo, okay, so just go take care of the Quincy's. We're just going to sit back here, because you're really good at doing that. Ichigo's patrolling the town, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nell shows up. Okay, hi Nell, how have you been? We just kind of left you in the sand back there. Sorry about that, really. We just left you unconscious in the sand after Kenpachi killed Noitora. But yeah, nice to see you're still conscious. That's good. That's good. So she uses her super speed technique to crash into Ichigo. This is, of course, alluding a previous chapter where she did that, and that was kind of her comedic thing. And Ichigo is, sitting there like dumbfounded, like, oh, okay, yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. And I was like, Ichigo, in the Hueco Mundo is, and then she's kind of babbling through this, and then she trails off. Cut back to the Ice Palace, where the mysterious Quincy's relaying his information to the Quincy King, or head of the Quincy's. I'll be switching back and forth between the two, because I really don't know his allegiance yet. But he's giving his report about the stuff that will happen rather than the stuff that is happening now. And apparently, given the mental instability of this guy, doing anything that is not strictly what he told you to do warrants getting your head blown off, apparently. So that's what happens. The plus side, we finally found out his name. His real name was Luders Freegan. Then again, I'm not really sure how accurate that is, because we're going with German translated into Japanese, translated into English. So we're not really specific on that. There's going to be some kind of barrier there, but I'm just going to I'll just keep calling him Mysterious Dead Quincy now, because I'm pretty sure he's not going to be showing up again. The Quincy King turns his attention on Ivan, and he states that, you did your job exactly how I told you. You know, I have no reason to blame you for everything. You delayed Ichigo Kurosaki for long enough. You did a good job. And your reward for this is getting your head blown off. So, Ivan's dead too. Very, very rational and sane dictator we have here. The other Mysterious Quincy states that, are you alright with just killing these guys? And he states that because aren't Arrancars precious soldiers that don't need to be taught how to fight? And from that sentence, we're led to believe that Ivan and the Mysterious Quincy were Arrancars. But I'm thinking, wait, but they used Quincy powers. And I can understand Ivan because he had the mask, but you know, the Mysterious Quincy really didn't have a mask. I mean, maybe it's on some other part of his body, but I didn't see anything. And how can they use Quincy bows if they're Arrancars? And if they are Arrancars, why didn't Ivan use a Cero or something? And how can they use shadows? And I'm confused. And I don't know. I'm guessing Ivan was an Arrancar. They're leading to believe that, but maybe he's an Arrancar Quincy hybrid. I didn't want to think that, because Arrancars are Shinigami Hollow hybrids, so having a Quincy Arrancar hybrid would have like 3 beings into one, which I just didn't think Kubo was going to do, but apparently so. I guess they were Arrancars, so guess it makes sense why he killed them. Kind of. Still makes it him a sadistic bastard, but whatever. So his response to this is just, I don't care if I kill them, I can just get as many as I want. So he ascends a staircase, and there we see Tia Halibel in chains. Alright, I gotta steal a running gag from Linkara here for a second. Time for backstory! A lot of you, that if you just read the manga, you're going to be looking at that and you're going to be like, wait, I thought Halibel's dead, right? Didn't she get, cut by Aizen and then die? Well, she did get cut by him, but she did not die. See, if you do not read the supplemental material, which I'm pretty sure a vast majority of people didn't, they lay out that Halibel is in fact alive, and she Orihime heals her, and she goes back to Hueco and she stays, and she takes over Las Noches. But a lot of people don't know that. I mean, you would have to, the fact that she's there hinges on the fact that people read Unmasked, which a lot of people probably didn't. I didn't even find out about it until way after it became published, and I'm an American, and I don't even think that he told Halibel's story in manga form. I think they just like, it was in text, like after she died, she went back to Hueco. I don't even think that Kubo even drew her going back there. But, maybe I could be wrong on that, I'm not sure. But the basic problem is they did not reveal that Tia Halibel was even alive in the actual manga at all. She got cut down and now she just shows up there. So, props to Kubo for actually including, supplemental material inside of the comic. But, he could have explained it a little bit better, maybe. Even if he would have showed it like an extra chapter or something just to see what happened to Halibel in manga form. But I can see how a lot of people will be confused by that. That's all I'm saying. I personally wasn't, but I'm sure other people were. So, the Quincy King looks at her all beaten up, and we don't really know if she's dead or not. she's not moving. Her eyes are shut. She could be dead. Who knows? But the Quincy King just states that, they took over Hueco, and it's just another foundation stone to invade the Soul Society. So, chapter ends there, and the Quincy's are apparently badass enough to kick the crap out of the Third Espada, which, I guess they're maybe even at Aizen level, really, because Aizen was able to, take out Halibel with no concern whatsoever, and apparently this guy did the same thing. He did not show much effort on taking out the Third Espada. So apparently, he's a pretty badass guy. And of course, he also shown the ability to blow people's heads up from a range. So, Hueco is their territory now, and I think it's just like another thing going on here, the concept of dimensions breaking down, because we've seen this happen on occasion with, we saw the rift in space-time that Hiyori saw, we saw the fact that Hueco is captured now, but I will end this chapter with a tribute to the 1st Division Lieutenant, Chojirou Sasakibe. Tekking101 signing out.